Speaker's not working.
No, let me forget.
You can turn your volume up and get them off.
What's up, everybody? All right.
Are you okay?
Do a
sitting
share.
I am.
Because I'm goofy, I'd be sliding out of the chair.
This is just fine. It fits
Yeah.
my short legs. So.
John, what's up, buddy? You got Sandy there?
Are the same height. But he's got.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Pants and I wear 30.
Oh, gee, I'm not unmuted.
Long
Yeah, we're
courses.
doing good.
Good. You got Sandy
You
there?
got the higher half and-
She is at a closing.
Oh,
There'll be a chair.
that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a
My
good thing.
feet aren't on the floor.
All
Okay,
right.
people are starting to come in now. Cool.
What's that?
People are starting to come in.
Yeah, we got Barbie here, we got Seth, we got Tula, we got Mika, we got Alec. So we got a couple people in the office right now as well. So I'm gonna get you guys set up with Dee Dee. I gotta finish up a quick meeting here and she's gonna start going over some contract stuff. The fun stuff of real estate, right? I know everybody's probably doing a little bit of an eye roll right now, but unfortunately, Tula, right, Tula?
I'm here to.
I love it. I love it. So, and then we got Sean on with producer's title here. Sean, sorry, I didn't get a chance to email you that new contract. It's just been crazy this morning. So, but we're going to try to get Sean to answer any questions regarding legal and title stuff to his ability. And then we got Lisa here as well that can kind of help. I know some of these changes are with, you know, the finance contingencies and stuff of that nature through the contract. So great to have Lisa from Home Team Lending here and Sean from Producer's Title to answer some questions. So, all right, you good to go? All right, so Dee's gonna get you guys set up for the next 5 or 10 minutes, and I'll be back on with her. So Dee, you're sharing screen here now. So anything you need to get onto, you can just your normal computer, okay?
What do you mean?
So you
My
Zoom's
normal
here, right?
computer.
Say hi to everybody. Say hello.
Hello,
Say-
everyone.
All right, so just whatever you need to get to, you're gonna go to app files?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
okay,
just go
okay.
to app
Oh,
files on your
I see.
computer and smile for your pretty
I
face.
do not like being on
And I'll be
camera.
back in like 5. I'm just finishing up.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, maybe I'm muted. Okay, so today we are going to go over some of the new changes. If anybody has any questions, has anybody read the or watched the video?
Not
No.
yet.
Okay, well, it's there if you need it. But so, yeah, so there are a lot of changes. We probably can't cover them in this meeting because there's so many. That's why it's probably a good idea to watch the video. So let's see. So there's changes to the residential contract for sale and purchase, and there are changes for the as is. And there's 3 new riders, the mold inspection, the seasonal and vacational rentals after closing, the property assessed clean energy disclosure, which we have to give now. So, and the homeowners association. The only change, I just see a couple changes on the second page. So what else is there? Yeah, the homeowners. Oh, the FHA and VA has a couple changes. You'll see the red line changes if you go to the video, and then you can pull up all the paperwork from there. They have links that you can pull up the paperwork. The right to inspect and right to cancel, pre-closing occupancy by buyer or post-closing occupancy by seller, the sale of buyer's property, backup contract, seasonal. Yeah, so there are a few changes. I think it's going to begin on November 1st, so we can't really take any CR5s anymore after that. I know years ago we could just pull up any contract we wanted. But nowadays, starting November 1st, you have to use a CR6 because there's so many changes to everything that you'd be working off an old contract. So we need to do those. So I'll just like really quickly go over a couple of the changes. If you have anything that's unclear, just let me know as we go. So the as is residential, the change here would be on, I think it starts on line 17. They crossed out intercom and they added thermostat, doorbell, plural, TV wall mounts, TV mounting hardware, which some people do take.
Do you have the slideshow to?
I can
that we can
probably, let's see
see
if I
it?
can get that up there. Let's see.
Your PowerPoint presentation?
Uh-huh. See, my email's not on here. Let me just see. It would be, yeah, see, Greg usually does this, so I'm unprepared at this point. Mine's automatic, so.
Here, use mine.
Okay,
Just
go ahead.
back at 2000-7191. And then Kenyon, KENYON 1965.
Thanks.
For the K children.
Hey, now, unless you're putting in listing agreements. I love it.
All right, new, these must be the new forms here. Right? Oh, where's that would be on my email though, right? I can't find the video here, but. Let's see. Mm-mm.
Well, that's okay. I didn't mean
No,
to.
it's a good idea to put it up there. I don't know where the
I was
link is
looking for
though.
the-
For the new change.
Yeah, so let's see. Greg probably has this all ready, but I didn't know he was gonna do it. Let's see,
Would it be under our world campus? On the top right where you're, yeah. Hmm.
let's see. Do you have it in your email? Can you, I'm not sure I have it email here, but let me check. This is kind of just the office computer, not really stocked.
So, yeah, I've got it in my.
A video library. It was an R1.
It was? Hold on.
Oh, I don't know.
Did you find it?
Well, it says video library, new, coming soon. Sorry.
2021 revisions to Florida Realtor contracts and writers. So there's your web address at the top.
Oh, good. Okay, hang on.
So it's under floridarealtors.org.
That's what I was going to try to pick up one.
Okay, so it's, I'm sure Greg had this all set, but I didn't know.
Can you see it okay?
Yep. Florida. Just a second, guys, we're getting it.
Here, so you don't have to.
I was spelling it right. See if that goes in.
Oh, geez. I was gonna say, because I don't
Is there a
remember
password
mine
for
unless
that?
yep, you
I
have to
mean,
log
I'm
into
here.
floridarealtors.org.
That's what I did. But I've never. I don't think I've ever-
floridarealtors.org is a great resource.
Very,
Oh, really?
Very
Yeah,
Maybe I learned
you want to
something?
save that.
definitely, anytime you need clarification on anything, questions,
Okay.
hotlines, tip lines.
Legal hotline is the best.
best.
Yes.
Okay.
Love that legal hotline.
Okay.
Oh, that's not the
So
password.
when do we go next?
There's one. That's it right there.
Which one?
Contract changing.
Oh. Oh, I'm looking up there.
Yeah, well, it's just, either way, that's just one of the ways to do it.
This is my login.
Yeah.
Okay.
Craig.
Oh, oops.
Oh, there it is.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, that's okay. I have it on my phone now, so I can just follow it
Yeah,
that
it'd be
way.
good if everybody could see it, but anyways, I'll just go real quick because Greg's gonna be in 5 minutes. So on the as is, there's just, you can see all the changes. They're all in red or blue print. So they did add a few items there, the storm protection items. So on line 29 at number 2, the initial deposit to be held in escrow. So check subject to collection. I don't know why they changed that, but so they just are putting the escrow agent name, the email and the phone email, which they always have. The closing date, when all funds are required for closing, received by closing agent. It's just mostly wording. Really not a lot of the terms have changed. Loan approval has been obtained and lender's underwriting is complete. Which they added to the extension date. So then line 83, an occupancy agreement. Financing, this is cash transaction with no financing, which is the same, but they did block out buyer will pay cash for the purchase of the property at closing. There was no finance contingency to buyers. So they crossed out all of this and just said there's no financing contingency. They just shortened that up a little. The contract is contingent within, if left blank, 30 days after effective date, loan approval. So you don't have to write that in. There's just a ton of changes. Everybody should just pull them up and look at the, it's going to take forever to go through all this. So actually every agent should know the difference. We just need to know that you just do your homework and realize that you have to use a CR6 as of November 1st. And they do tell the changes on the video. And there's also a summary, which I have in the office, I can email to you, but there's a summary also there that tells you what the differences are, short form, so you can look that up. But I don't know if anybody has any questions about any of, the changes.
I have a quick
Okay.
question. Paragraph 8B on the appraisal, it says appraisal and alternative valuation. So why the change? Some lenders for some loans accepted different valuation product. What would that be?
Hey, Lisa, can you jump in? Do you know about that? She's muted. Hey,
I'm
Lisa.
sorry, Dee Dee, what was your question?
On paragraph 8B under appraisal,
Uh-huh.
they have now changed it to say appraisal and alternative valuation. And why the change is because some lenders for some loans accepted different valuation product. What is a valuation product?
I'm guessing that means actual appraised value versus if you look on the bottom of an appraisal where the value comes in, and it's got what the replacement value is versus, I don't know, I don't have it in front of me, but there's two different numbers that come in, and sometimes those numbers are different. But there is nothing that I've heard that we're changing, and the appraised value at the cost approach is the one that we're still using.
Cost
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know what they could be referring to, but we're always going to look at that. But sometimes, like I said, that replacement cost is in there, and that's different. So we're not gonna consider anything else other than the
Than an actual
what the
appraisal.
value is. Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna take a class at the board for
Mhm.
them to explain it a little bit more in detail. I mean, it's probably gonna be a 2-3 hour class. It's hard to go over everything in detail.
It's so hard to go over everything, and I don't think really a lot has changed. It's just a lot of wording that's
Yeah.
changed, but I think it basically still means the same. It just, I don't know why. They say it's much better, the changes that they made, but
The appraisal was the whole kind of pickup thing. How they were like, you give the appraisal approval before the contract can be accepted or something, or there's a.
did you hear that, Lisa? She's our lender.
Okay.
Lisa?
I could hear part of what he said. I couldn't hear all of it.
The the new stipulations with the approvals for the loans to be accepted in the time for the contract to be accepted as well. Is there like I think they're squeezing that time down now. There's like a shorter period of time.
Well, it's still going to be whatever is written in on the contract. So I'm not exactly sure what you're referring to. I haven't had this is the first time I'm learning about the contract as well. So we have a set meeting at the end of the week in my office just to go over some of the changes. So I'm completely speculating right now. But I don't know of anything that is going to narrow the time for a loan approval or when the appraisal comes back unless, it's strictly defined in the contract by, so many days, just like we're already doing. Not sure if that's answering your question.
It does, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay, good. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
So Lisa, have you noticed any changes that would affect the lending part of the contract and in any of these changes?
No, not yet. I'm still listening. I mean, there are some of those addendums I want to look at, like the
Mhm.
one that you mentioned about mold.
Right.
But we haven't gotten any, even like industry emails or anything that is drawing like lots of attention to some part of this contract. So I think it's important for lenders and realtors to, notice these things because
Right.
with the market being so competitive, even a little subtle change to the wording of the mortgage approval or whatever it is can have an effect on the transaction. So I think it's important that we pay attention, even if it doesn't seem like a big deal. And that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah, that's why, it's really hard to explain everything. It would take hours and hours, but I do think that if you get the contract, all the changes in front of you, like I've just, it's a lot of printing. You can go over it online if you have a really good memory, but I tend to have to do it practical and look at it, so I'm not really, I'm seeing a lot of wording, but I'm just really not seeing a lot of changes, like even under the mold inspection. If you,
Judy,
yep.
can I chime in? Hi, it's Kristen.
Hey, Kristen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? So
Good.
while we were discussing this, I pulled something up on realtors.org, and it is kind of explaining that part, the 8B on the update with the appraisal. It's stating that that the buyer's lender must receive a satisfactory appraisal before the loan approval period expires, which I guess so that's what
right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
that's great.
Isn't that kind of the same thing, like within your contingency period of your financing?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, I think that fills the gap of when you have a mortgage commitment and the appraisal is not back yet. And so
Right.
you really don't have a mortgage commitment until you know that the appraisal
Correct.
is back at value. So it sounds like they're trying to address that in the change.
Yeah, so it's saying if a buyer is approved for
That's-
financing,
exactly.
but the approval is conditioned upon an appraisal to be completed in the future, this will not be considered loan approval until that appraisal is done.
So what makes me think about that then is because, we still don't have total control. We never
Right.
will over how long appraisers take to get back. I almost feel like loan commitment extensions are going to be
Yeah.
a more like prevalent thing going forward
Mm.
in the event that an appraisal takes longer than it should, or, depending on how busy we are.
Yeah, so Lisa, with the appraisers out like a couple weeks, I mean, they were out, it might be shortened now, but it's still they're out kind of far for their appraisal. So I'm wondering, 2 to 3 weeks, and wonder if they have their finance, they just have to get an extension, is that it? For their,
If the appraisal is not back, I would recommend getting a loan commitment date extension, just to protect the buyer, if that's who you're
because
representing.
This is 5 days. They're saying.
You're gonna have to have it ready, yeah. I think most agents understand in this time and date that is going to happen with the extension, but also they have the right to walk away, like, because if they found something else or anything, they don't have to. There's going to be a lot of, walking away. I think in the meantime, somebody finds something else, they can use that as, well, I don't need that anymore, or they have a backup buyer, cash, and it's going to hurt a lot of people, actually, because of the appraisal.
Cart before the horse, so I don't understand why that needed to be changed.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's still kind of basically the same process, right?
Yeah, I mean, I need to see see exactly what it says, and I can't see it right now.
Yeah.
But again, I've had it's multiple times, maybe 50% of the time, the appraisal is not back and we have a loan commitment. So I think that it's regardless of how this contract reads, until I can see it, I would recommend just, on both sides, just being aware of that, because you can have a loan approval that is free of conditions, but subject to the appraisal coming in at value. And that's still not a done deal. So I think that, as the buyer's agent, I would probably put something in writing to, just extend the appraisal coming back, or a loan commitment subject to the appraised value, something like that. And I don't even know what that looks like yet, but
so
I think it would be good to do that.
Yeah, it does say right here, Lisa, if within the loan approval period, buyer obtains loan approval, buyer shall notify seller of same in writing prior to expiration of the loan approval period. Or if buyer is unable to obtain loan approval and buyer is satisfied with buyer's ability to obtain loan approval and proceed to closing, buyer shall deliver written notice to seller confirming same prior to the expiration of the loan approval, period.
So
It's
that's
so
just saying
redundant.
that, yeah,
Yeah,
it's essentially saying, no matter what, if you get loan approval, just let us know. But you
In
still
writing.
have to, in writing,
In
everything
writing,
has to be
yeah.
in writing.
would that be considered an extension?
No, that's just saying, hey, it's just stating what it is that you're okay with or not okay with the buyer to the seller in writing.
Before.
You know, it could be, yeah, it could be something like, hey, I don't know what the value is yet, but I'm still good with moving forward, or, something like that.
Yeah,
So I think it's like I said before, I think it's just sort of filling in the what if scenarios that come about that don't, that it customizes each contract a little bit more to address those gaps between the appraisal and the loan commitment.
Right.
And, I think it's going to end up being whatever, you as an individual, how you want to handle it. But I do hear that there seem to be more serious about having everything in writing with those conversations.
right.
Yeah, I'd jump in there, Dee Dee.
Yep, go ahead, Sean.
And actually, to back up when you were talking about other appraisal methods, it's a good thing to note that actually in early 2022, Fannie and Freddie are going to accept desktop appraisals on a permanent basis.
The highlight.
So that'll be valuations done directly from their computer.
But that's if you get that on the desktop approval. Like that
Correct,
has
correct.
to be
Oh,
part of
correct.
the initial approval, and we already have that in place. But it's got to be, it's a certain borrower, it's a certain loan to value. There's all kinds of inner criteria that comes into play.
Yep. But we actually had a review with the underwriting counsel from Westcor, our underwriter, and just to kind of relay, one of their biggest concerns, at least as far as where the agents were at, was the communication between the selling agent and the buyer's agent, since the agents are really the funnel to the communication between the parties, is about providing responses in writing to the appropriate parties when, say, the seller asks for an update.
Right.
So, they're looking at, if there's no response, potential default of the contract. If, Susie seller asks Bobby buyer for a loan update and nobody responds. One of the things that they touched on over and over again was, do not text. That is not a form of communication as per the contract. It's got to be an email. So you can't text Sally agent, what's going on with the loan? Can you send that over, if the seller's asked you to follow up on the loan? So, to keep yourself out of a bad spot.
Yeah.
I would keep that in mind, because I know we all kind of text back and forth because it's just the way things are right now. But
Yeah, and there's some agents that will hold you to that too and say, no, I never got it, or I don't remember it, or something. So I always suggest an email and hard copy.
Yep.
Mhm.
I do have a question. Paragraph 8B, at the bottom, it's highlighted in yellow, and it's about notice of loan approval. But below that, it says low appraisal no longer results in deposit going back to buyer at closing. And appraisal is not a property-related condition.
Wow, so they're not.
So to me, that says that if the appraisal comes in low, that's not going to resort to letting the buyer have their deposit back, is the way I'm reading that. Is that true?
Are you asking
I'm
me?
asking
Yeah.
whoever might have an answer.
For the
Okay.
loan, as far as the appraisal.
Like I said, I have not seen this contract yet, so that's my disclaimer. I would speculate that if that's how it's reading, there's just gonna have to be another way to convey a mortgage decline if they, if the value doesn't play a part in getting a deposit back. So what does that mean? If they're really strapped for cash and they can't come up with the shortage of the appraisal, for example, then that would warrant a decline on the loan.
Well, but I don't
So-
understand. If something is priced at fair market value, nobody knows for sure what the appraisal is going to be. Hence, that's why we have appraisals to see what it comes in at today's market. So if I have a buyer and we make an offer, it's accepted, right? We put a deposit down of 10%. The appraisal comes in low, so now my buyer's screwed out of getting his deposit back.
No. So
No.
what I read is that if it is, the appraisal needs to be done before the expiration of the
approval
loan
The
approval
loan
period.
approval,
Yeah.
right?
So
Correct.
it's explaining on floridarealtors.org, it says why the change. The change was made to expedite receipt of the appraisal if required by the buyer's lender. Under the current contract, a low appraisal could derail a transaction as late as the closing if that's when the appraisal was completed. Although a low appraisal can still derail a transaction if it is received before expiration of the loan approval period, the property can be returned to the market sooner and a new buyer found.
They're just saying that the appraisal is not a condition that you get. It's supposed to be approved before you get the condition, right?
That's what yeah.
You guys get that? Like, I mean, I can see the appraisal I don't think the appraisal was ever a condition, was it, Lisa?
No,
Right. So see, it didn't really change. The conditions are different when you get the conditions. Everyone has conditions what if they go buy a car the night before? I mean, there's conditions, right,
Mhm.
Sean?
but yes, but if the appraisal comes back before the loan approval period, the appraisal is really a non-issue because
Right.
they have the right to back out prior to that. And
Right.
like Dee Dee said, there was no appraisal contingency
No.
in the current as-is contract. And, if you do want an appraisal contingency, grab the addendum.
Just
You
grab
know,
the
that's
addendum.
what it's,
Yeah.
that's what it's for.
And I agree, Sean. I think every agent should use that addendum and get it signed with the offer, just, to have safety net.
Yep.
That you could get more time if needed, which is needed nowadays. I mean, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't ever a condition anyways.
I just, the way I'm reading
Yeah.
it, it's like.
It's too much language.
Yeah.
You tell a lawyer.
Yeah. They should go by the KISS rule. Keep it simple, stupid. Right, Tula?
I like
Keep it
that.
simple, stupid.
Go by the
Simple
KISS.
acronym,
Not real professional, but
yeah. Well, you'll never forget it.
it works. Yeah, so, I mean, there are a couple three new riders too. The mold inspection, I'm not sure, sorry, Lisa, so many questions are to you, but is the mold, is this like a necessity now? Like, is this a requirement that we have to have a mold inspection with every offer? Or is it just if you want to use it?
I have no idea, Dee Dee, because I
Okay.
said, I haven't seen any of this yet.
Right.
We're going to be going over it on Friday.
Okay,
So I'm curious to know that too. I think what it would be good, since a lot of the questions are directed to me, I think it would be best if I get all of the intel
Yeah.
I can from the lending side and then relay it back to you guys at the next meeting.
yeah, I think at the next meeting, we'll all be more clarified on all of this, because I think there is a lot of language in there, and it's basically, I don't see where a lot has changed. Do you, Josh, with the new contracts coming up? Usually, see, yeah, nobody's really,
And that only goes with the as-is contract. That's only, or excuse me, that's not applicable for the as-is contract, the rider. It's only for the standard far bar.
Thank you, thank you. That's what I was wondering, Sean, because not many people, unless you're doing like new construction, use the regular residential rider. They use, I mean, 90% of the time it's the as is, right?
Probably 99% of the time it's as is.
I was gonna say that, but I wanted to be a little, not real factual, so. Yeah, so I would say that the as is, yeah, it doesn't pertain to that. I mean, I think the best thing to do is for everybody, like I sent you the video, you know, to go over it. They actually have this really cool, it's called summary, which I can understand a lot better than going through all of them, but the summary is really good for the most needed points, I think. So even if you print that out and just look at the summary, you'll be all set for November 1st. So let's see, Sean, I saw on your on the home sales family, we have a page, home sales family. It's really cool because, you know, right, you put in, oh, I've got a rental, and you know, you need rental so bad lately. You can't go on the MLS because they're already gone. So, you know, if you go within the home sales family, there's people, a lot of people, agents here that actually have them before they even get listed. Josh has a lot. Or you know, a sale, or people want to do an open house. There's a lot of reasons, you know, for the home sales family. And we do so much work within the group. There's like 60 agents. We do so much work within the group. And it's nice to have that support if you need it. And people, you know, they have a lot going on that they can, you know, even didn't you have a comment in there that was kind of cool about if somebody wanted to drive to Boca or something, that for a buyer?
Wasn't Jamie, and then,
Oh,
right?
in the home sales family, if anybody who wants it, I can't drive that far. So if you want it,
It was Jamie and I said yes.
okay, yeah. So it's kind of cool for things like that, inter-office. And so Sean, I was just getting back to you had, I believe last night or yesterday sometime, posted about our next meeting, next get together.
Yep, October 27th at Grande's on Donald Ross, 5 to 7.
Yeah, that's great. So Sean is producer's title manager. His wife Olivia is the attorney. Okay, there is a couple new people here, Sean. So I just wondering, you know, just wanted to let them know who was speaking. Lisa's Home Team Lending. She's our affiliate lender. And Sean and Olivia, most of the time try to go through producer's title because they have the attorney there too, which is nice. So yeah, so we're gonna have that get together, which is kind of fun. We're gonna have them once a month from now on. So that's always a fun time.
Yeah.
And then we would plan our Christmas party the following, probably we'll have one in November. I don't know where that's going to be, but December it's going to be Trattoria, Carmine Trattoria.
I hope I can make it this time. I've missed both of them.
You better.
Because the soccer tournaments.
Oh yeah, it's hard when you have kids, you know, and you've got plans and things like that. But yeah, so oh, the other thing I wanted to touch on was app files. So if you guys could upload your settlement statements and put them on your file, that would be really helpful. I know a lot of times it's remote now and you get them, we get them in the mail here, or they drop them off. But if you do have them, you go to closing to pick up your check, which, you know, we always pay at closing. So pick up the check and the one for home sales, if you could possibly get the settlement and upload it to your app files. A lot of times it comes in the mail and then it just gets lost on someone's desk or out back, or they come in and they put them on a desk and I can't find them to upload, and I actually can't close out your file as closed until I get that settlement statement. So, and also just a reminder to fill out your disbursements. If you could do them, like we used to say 3 to 5 days, but if you could do them like a week ahead of time, that would be great. Because I know there's a lot of changes too last minute, like, you know, the appraisal, and that changes all the figures too on the contract, which changes the disbursement as well. But yeah, so, but it's kind of good because we have found a lot of mistakes not in favor of the agent. So it's really good that we check those disbursements against your contracts. We actually take your contract, take the disbursement, take all the addendums if you've given money off for the sale price or what have you for inspection purposes or what have you. So we do check that. We check all the addendums and then we check the MLS. So you'll really need to keep up on the full report, not the customer report, but the MLS full report, so we can see what the commission is. Sometimes they think it's 2.5% and it's actually 3%. They were thinking of another deal. So if you could put up, post the MLS full report in your file, that would be really helpful. We take that, we take your contract, the addendums, the ML to see what you're getting. We figure it out. Now, I can't tell you, like, I would say 50% of the time, the agents don't have the figure right. And then they're just, it just goes through, Greg signs it, goes to the title company and, so it's really good and necessary to upload all those items. So in your app files, yeah, you're going to need your contract, your listing agreement, or your purchase and sale, the disbursement, the MLS. The tax it's not recommended. You can do it if you want, but and any addendum. So yeah, and then the settlement statement after you close, that would be great.
I said 5 more minutes at that time.
So Greg's got about 5 more minutes of his meeting. He's in a meeting, but does anybody have any questions?
Not off the top of my head. I need to go through and read all this stuff though. I'm assuming that once we read this, things like that, we can come back and check in with you or Greg or somebody and say, are we going to give this a couple weeks for us to try and absorb all
I
this
do.
before we harass you?
Yeah, so Lisa said by next week, they're having a meeting, I believe she said Friday. So by next week, she'll be able to, cipher through them, decipher and figure out if there's something we really need to know lending wise, But I would say, like, if common sense is like #1 tool, I just like read them and just try to understand what they're saying, just like you would for your test, you understand, you just try to understand what it means. It's kind of simple,
When I don't understand.
Hey, Dee Dee, good morning.
Hey,
She does.
So I had to step out, so
okay.
I missed a bit.
Hey, John Casey.
Are all these forms going on to app files pretty soon?
They are. What happens with, they should be by next week. And we don't do them actually app files. They keep up on every single document. So
Oh, app files do it. Okay.
yeah, they
Right,
do it.
fine.
So I believe that they are going to delete the CR5. So they'll upload with the CR6. So they will all be on there. Yes.
So in the home sales family Facebook page,
Uh-huh.
right this minute is the Florida Realtors exact page to get into this
Yeah.
contract change.
Right.
I've just posted it. And there's a summary of changes on all of these.
Yes,
So
yes.
for the
That's
lazy
what I
man's,
thought.
That's what I was saying.
the lazy man's version of not reading what the changes are, just read
This
the
is
explanation
Quick
of
notes.
the change.
See on home sales. Yeah, we went over that a little while ago, how it is, there is a summary, which I find a lot easier because those are the
Yes.
ones that are most important. So I go over the summary. I have printed out and read all of these, but I do think that it's a lot of wording, but if you go by the summary, you'll see the 3 new addendums and which are important. There's really not a lot of changes to the as is. I don't know about that clean energy one. Do you guys know about that? Sandy is on the board for the Realtor board, so she might know.
For PACE,
Yes, for PACE, yes.
for the PACE disclosure, that is a program where that the state's involved with, where they finance clean energy options on
saving,
your
yeah.
home. Yeah, like, insulated windows, energy saving water heaters, roofs, new roofs. And what happens is when you get financing on it, they actually add that into your non-ad valorem taxes. So your payment that you make towards that loan is on an annual basis that you pay within your taxes. And it's just to disclose. I mean, we've been getting more and more of those. It's probably good to mention as it's outlined in that in the outline that Dee Dee provided, that if it's not paid off in full by the seller, lenders are not gonna accept that, because we would have to make an exception to the lender's policy, and that lien would be in first position. So
Okay, so it's like a second loan or lien holder, right?
it's a lien. Yep.
So I know it does say, like, most lenders will require satisfaction or release of the PACE financing from the property before they close.
Yep.
So,
Because with PACE, you can actually take over the assessments. They have a paperwork package. Who knows how long that would take them
right.
to do that. But again, the problem runs into, if it's a finance property, lenders aren't going to accept it, in our experience. You know, it's just because, again, we're making an exception to the policy. So that specific lien is not going to be covered. The lender's not going to be covered in that position.
Yeah, that's right. So I know that was another one I couldn't really understand about this PACE. I mean, is it something that the seller buys previously and it should be disclosed to the buyer?
Yeah, well, they have to disclose. You're supposed to disclose it now with the new changes.
Yeah. So I mean, at the offer time, or
At the time, yeah, with the time that the contract's driven.
okay.
Or excuse me, written, driven would be
Yeah.
written up. Yeah. And you can actually you can check quickly. An easy way to check is if you go to PAPA, which most of you do to get tax information, or excuse me, property information. If you go down to the tax collector and you look under the non-ad valorem tax, you'll see a line item that will disclose that PACE loan.
I see. So
Or just ask the seller. I mean, you know, they'll know if they got financing for PACE.
yeah, I mean, I never knew it was a thing, to tell you the truth. I do look at that's why it's a really good idea to go to the tax site and upload it to your file, because I always read, you know, looking for permits, like out in the farms or something, I always read if they had a permit for their pool or porch or what have you before because a lot of agents don't ask and don't know, and it's not on there, you know, on the MLS. So I do go to that and I see that non-ad valorem, but I didn't know they put it as an item there. I didn't know which
Yeah.
area
I mean,
that was.
I would imagine they came up like we never had the program's been out there actually for a while.
Wow.
But no one knew of it.
I'm back on the meeting, the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, so no one knew of it, and you know, now we're starting now as it's becoming, I guess, more popular, people have more knowledge of it. We are seeing a lot more of them, you know, both in our refinance arena and purchase arena.
Yeah. So the other thing I thought was really funny, I don't know, I don't really understand it myself, is this the rider E with the FHA financing. They say there's a cap of $100 has been added to the tax service fee, and it's supposed to be paid by the seller if the blank is not filled in. So I don't know. I mean, that's a FHA VA question. I guess the lender will find out about that.
Yeah, Dee Dee, that's sort of like what we did 15, 20 years ago when people were hesitant to take the FHA offers because of their, you know, quote unquote junk fees.
Right, right.
So a tax service fee is one of those. So it just looks like they're just specifically addressing that again. I'll find out why on Friday. But
yeah, I mean, it's like there is a cap. I mean, it's only $100 to the seller, but you know, if you have a listing and the seller doesn't know it, that could, I mean, you know, I don't know. It's kind of confusing.
no, it's a good idea to have that disclosed to the seller as well. So
Yeah.
I'll get information on that as well.
Okay. Yeah, we're just kind of like putting it out there that, John, are you muted or are you still there? John Casey, hold on. Hey,
Yes, we're here.
Hey, John. Yeah, I just went to your link on Home Sales Family, and when I go on, it asks, everybody to log in. Because this is John's login. See it if you click on it, on his, you click on that to get it. You just have to put your login for floridarealtor.org and it will come up. See, it's empty because it's John's login. So
Well, that sucks.
I did post a link on my email for everybody. So if you got the email from me, I sent it twice. I think I sent it Friday or Saturday and then again, or Monday, whatever, right? And then again yesterday. So I have, if you see one from me the last couple days, it does have the actual link there. You click on it. I sat and watched it for 2 hours. It was so boring, but I really feel like I had to know, and honestly didn't see a lot of difference, but I did see a lot more wording, but there are new addendums and a few new things. So I seriously, if you have a couple hours, I would definitely watch the video and at least go to the summary. So you'll know, because like I said, you won't have the CR5 contracts anymore. They'll be replaced with CR6. And then you'll get to a contract page and go, what's this? So it's best to find out before you actually write. And they say these changes have to be on the offer. So yeah.
You have to be able to explain it to your client, because most of my clients, that's what they want to know. What does this mean? And what does this mean?
Mm-hmm.
God forbid you tell them something wrong.
Or you look like blank and then they say, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing, right? So yeah, so those are all good points. If you can just read over the summary, like John said, that would probably really help a lot. Let's see, does anybody else have any questions or fun stories? What? Yeah, tell them. So, yeah.
Hello?
Hi, John.
Can I share my social calendar? Because it seems you're having all these social meetups when we're really busy, like, jetting around town.
Well, John, if you'd stay home once in a while instead of being on vacation so much.
Hey, all 5 is busy, all right?
Yes, Casey, 007, 005. You're a very busy guy, we know. No, you're having fun and you're working hard, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, we got to miss Sean's event that I said, I apologize. That's when we have the JTHS Miami board, all the boards meet for their annual retreat. So I won't definitely be available.
Is it at the Breakers again?
No, unfortunately, but it's at a lovely resort in Key Largo.
Oh, how
and I have to drive. I've been volunteered to drive.
Well, if you had Greg, you could have flown there.
Oh,
right.
He could land in the swimming pool, I hear.
That's right. And he just might. He's texting and flying at the same time. Well, okay, I'll let you guys go. I'm so sorry about being frozen the first 15 minutes, but
What happened?
I didn't have the forms online because I had sent them. Well, I didn't know how to get to them. I don't have my logins here and everything. So, but everybody was so nice to help me out when I was choking. So anyways, here's Greg, who speaks much better than I do.
Was she nervous the whole time?
Yeah.
Was that?
I never did that. No.
Dee Dee's camera
I
shy.
hate the camera. I tried to put my.
Dee Dee's very camera shy.
Do you have a chair?
No.
So did Sean?
Thank you.
Shauno, is he on?
Yo,
Yeah, what's up, buddy? So
what's
how did, to just kind of recap everything as far as the forms go and everything like that? Is that squared away or what?
yeah, I mean, it's really a lot. I think the best thing to do is a lot of it, in my opinion, is good because I think it clarifies some of the language that we've, at least on our side, have had, a few issues with in the past, especially when it comes to the appraisal and the financing approval. But I would suggest there's so many documents that have changed in the in that Florida, your FloridaRealtors.org, I'm pretty sure they have an outline of each document that is actually redlined, just like the one that you have in your PowerPoint. You know, and then once everybody's had some time to digest that, you know, maybe we want to do a recap, and I can get Olivia. She's dug pretty deep into this on one of the next calls for questions as to specific language.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, that would be great to get Olivia on too as the attorney, obviously.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
but there's just so many, you know, so many small things like the property inspection where they added watercraft lifts and related equipment. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. So
Yeah.
we could at least spend time going on stuff that everybody may, or certain people may be struggling with a little bit, and how it's going to impact the process.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, let's do that. It'd be cool to set something like that up. Next meeting, we actually have we have Chime, a representative from Chime coming on with us. And she's actually she's kind of our account manager. She's going to go through everything with Chime for us and just basically go through like a brief explanation with Chime, and then answer any questions that any of the agents have. That way, anybody that's not familiar, that hasn't sat down with us, or, you know, is just kind of uncomfortable, or just has basic questions that, you know, for somebody that's been on Chime for a while already, that has basic questions that can't answer through the site. They're going to be coming on not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. So maybe, yeah, we could see what we can do about getting you guys back on to really finite these changes, especially since they're happening, you know, November 1st, if I'm not mistaken, right? So,
Hey, Greg,
yeah.
while you were
Talk to me.
while you were in your meeting, we talked about circling back at the next meeting, taking a few minutes, and, you know, and with my area, just getting some of those loan approval commitment questions answered, and just really understand exactly what the new or edited contract, how it reads and what we should know. And like tax service fees being paid by seller and FHA, and just some of those little details that they're not a really huge deal, but they have the potential to be if somebody doesn't understand
Understand it.
the verbiage. So I have a meeting on Friday to go over all of this. So that's why I was going to bring back what I've learned at the next meeting. So if you could just give a few minutes aside to Sean and
No,
all that
yeah,
would be great.
we got all the time in the world for you. She's gonna be, I think her deal is gonna only be about 30 minutes.
Okay.
So she's gonna just go through some updates and basic stuff with Chime, and then just answer any agent questions that you guys have. So yeah, we got more than enough time peeled out for you. That's obviously, we'll make that kind of the basis of it if you want to, and then we get Chime in there, no problem, just to start and get everything squared away for you guys. That'll be cool.
That's great.
Does anybody have any questions for Lisa regarding financing? You guys already go over that. Did you do? Okay. Didi's got a question.
Next Tuesday instead of, like, because Lisa will have all the information for the changes.
Yeah, if you want to do that, Lisa, if you want to do it next week.
That might be a good idea, just because we're coming up on November 1st.
Uh-huh.
And it's not to say that, you know, a contract comes in on November 2nd and somebody's completely screwed. I mean, they can always ask questions, but, you know, it's up to you. I'll do whatever you guys want.
Yeah, let's plan on that. Let's plan on doing setting up with that next Tuesday.
26.
That way we can get that squared away and get everybody comfortable with that, like you said, before the changes enact. And then the next week we can really focus on the Chime rep and getting that all squared away as well.
Sounds
So yeah,
good.
let's do that. Let's put that on the books, and that way everybody's comfortable doing what they need to on the FAR bar changes, because that's the most important. So
It is much easier to explain it sometimes, because some people, like I'm more practical. I have to be explained to. When I read it, I kind of glaze over after a while, you know, so people are different learners in different ways. So it might be
yeah,
like that.
no, for sure. Absolutely. Mika,
Should be
what were
fine.
you and I talking about
We
yesterday?
were talking about, I was actually thinking about it this morning. I'm like, kind of, Greg told me to bring it up. It was about when writing up an offer and having to like write over and over. And I mentioned that what I have been doing is that I will tell the listing agent, hey, just to save your time and my time, what do you think? You know,
Mhm.
I don't know what we were talking about exactly,
The
but that's what
details,
the,
yeah. Yeah, more as opposed to just trying to verbally speak with the agent as far as just writing the offer.
right,
Because
and not just completely. And I also check even before the showings. I make sure I check that they already don't have offers, that they
Yeah.
haven't, you know, not update their listing.
yeah,
And even before writing up the offer, I will go ahead and just communicate as much as I can
yeah.
with the listing agent. And
I like that too because you're
because they're
wanting to,
busy, and I mean,
Yeah.
if anything I know from him, he's like, oh my gosh, overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed. So when we empathize that, okay, I understand you're overwhelmed with all the offers, and I just, you know, instead of me throwing another offer at you that now you have to
Yeah.
present to the
Yeah.
to the
Change, right.
seller, let's just save each other time.
Time,
And what do
yeah.
you think?
Yeah.
And they will totally tell you, hey, we've got this. If it's anything less, don't even
Yeah.
bother. You
Yeah.
know, just so you can get an idea of that.
and that's a great point too, actually, because to go back to something is one of our agents actually was writing an offer, Scotty, and the client, his client wanted the house. He was like, I don't care what I have to pay for this house. I want the house. So with him already knowing that, his goal was to obviously not to try to get him to overpay as much as he could, right?
Right.
So I said, just have a discussion with the agent. That's what he did. As opposed to just writing an offer 150,000 over, 200,000 over, he had a discussion with the offer and said, hey, is this the number that's going to get us in the ballpark? Is this the number that's going to get it done? Like, you know, you open
I
yourself
have
up to
already
some of
heard
that,
back from
but
agents, the ones that will say that, okay, we have offer, but we will not take anything below
Right.
the asking
Yeah.
price. I know
Yep.
that they're right around there. And then I will have agents who will say, we have much higher offer
yeah.
than the listing price. So I kind of assume it's like 10, 5,
Yeah.
10 grand above.
And that's huge too, because it saves you, like, if you're gonna write a full price offer and they're like, hey, I got a 50,000 over ask already. So unless it's
Save
that
your
or
time.
minimum, don't waste your time, as opposed to just writing up, wasting your client's time, getting them excited too about it.
I've always
That's a good
done that
point. Yeah, I
because
like
I
that.
think it builds a rapport with the other.
Yeah,
agent, right?
I've been
I
doing
mean,
that
you know,
for 20
honestly, it was
years.
20 years ago. And then I do get those every so often that say,
Just write
send
it
it
out.
over, just
Yeah,
send
yeah,
it
just
over.
send it
And I
over.
said,
yeah.
you know, you just get really nice, you know, I just want to make sure, you know, that we're giving you everything you want.
I've always
And then
been a
you-
fan of the verbal first
Yes,
too,
yes.
maybe not telling them all the terms and conditions
Right,
and prices,
Right,
but
right.
at least being like, hey,
What do they
let's
want?
discuss this. Like, this is kind of what we were thinking before wasting anybody's time.
Right.
90% of the time,
Most of them love
you
it.
get the deal done as opposed to
Yeah.
just writing something.
And connecting with the listing
Yeah.
agent, you just kind of like, now when you have like now 5, 10 offers
Yeah.
on the table,
Right,
you just
right.
kind of
Which is
connect.
huge nowadays, as opposed, well, it's like trying to get a buyer or seller. You're trying to set yourself apart from the next
Right.
agent, right? So if you do the same thing
Right.
with a listing agent,
Yeah, I mean, I.
doesn't hurt.
And empathizing their time is
Their
huge.
time,
Mhm.
right, you're gonna
Right?
say, "And what do you
Yeah,
need?
like-
What do you need? I'll send it right over. I know we can work together on, and then you leave an impression instead of people just sending them multiple offers. At
Yeah.
least You leave a good impression. They go, oh, I can work with Mika. This is good.
Yeah.
You know, so it does.
And a lot of times the terms sometimes can be what
Mhm.
changes the difference between,
Right.
you know, because just putting an offer out there, it's like, hey, do your sellers need 60 days to get out of here?
Right,
Do they want a
right.
quick close?
Yeah.
You know, how can
Yeah.
I tailor this to make it the best offer for your sellers?
Yeah.
What can I do to help you sell this home too? So when
Yeah.
you're like, hey, I'm working with you, you're working with me, I'll beat my buyers up on
Yeah.
some stuff and we'll, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Get it
it's a
done,
give and
right?
take for everybody, and that's a great point, because like you said, it's not always just, a lot of it nowadays is price, but it's not always price.
Mhm.
It's terms that can get the deal done nowadays. So maybe that seller, like you said, maybe they have to have 60-day close and they're getting all 30-day offers, you
Right.
know. Yeah, of course it's negotiable, but
Right.
if your offer's got 60 days on there and you already know that's the best form,
And
It's a good point.
And offer to
Really good
speak to
point.
the lenders. You know, a lot of people don't get that invitation. I
Mhm.
always say, oh, you can talk to the lender, no problem, call right now, you know,
yeah,
they feel more comfortable. But
yeah, it's a good point, really good points,
yeah,
for
just-
sure.
It's so many multiple offers nowadays and not a lot of properties. So
Mhm.
whatever you can do to build that bond,
Yeah,
you know,
yes.
and they'll know that you're really workable.
Bond to the point, and so that I have the closing
Like
that I
Josh,
have.
he's so workable.
The closing that I have, the listing agent won't stop sending me pictures everywhere he travels. California, he's like, here, look at these
That's
pictures.
fine.
And I'm like, that's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
You
like,
build that
"Oh,
rapport with
right."
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, That's huge.
What's everybody's thoughts, like, when I'm working with buyers, they're like, hey, we wanna send a letter over too. And I'm like,
It goes against fair housing for the seller to discriminate against the buyer.
Right.
right.
It doesn't matter to you, who gives a fuck, you're not doing it. So
Correct.
you can send the letter, but from a listing agent perspective, if you take that letter in and present it to the seller and say, Dee Dee, this guy is a young professional and this guy is a mixed family, you're gonna get
Yeah.
yourself in a lot of shit. But as a buyer's agent, who cares, send it. Doesn't really have a huge impact like it used to anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Because everybody's doing it and there's.
Everybody's
Nobody
doing
gives a
it.
shit now about like your family. Nobody cares.
Nobody
They
cares.
want to see where the dollars are.
Yeah.
no dollar sign.
So.
No,
yeah.
$1
On your kids,
That's
unless
right.
you.
I mean,
No,
what
I
I do
know.
is when I send in an offer, and I've done that with some of them, I'll just kind of like write a little bit of who they are.
Just
what
include a
it's about.
picture,
It's
though.
not.
Yeah.
I'm dead ass serious.
That helps.
I do that with rentals.
If you include the picture with
Huge
the
with
letter, it's a
rentals.
more personal like experience. with them.
Like
I'm
a
like,
family
Family or
yeah, like don't send their
with a
freaking like
dog.
tag stamp.
Yeah.
It's funny you say with the
Profile
dog.
picture.
I was trying to get a for sale by owner over the weekend.
Not from the
And she's like, is
PSO
this-
site.
Is this an investor? Or is this a family? I was like, oh, it's a young professional with his girlfriend. And then I sent another text and their dog. They don't have a phone. But she's like, oh, they have a dog? That's great. What kind? I was like, oh, it's a lab. Like, you better go find a lab. with me. Yeah, I should have.
You
You
just
could've
walk
just said
in
your
there
dog,
like
yeah.
got a white
I said, I got a
lab.
lab tomorrow.
Yeah,
I should've said the French. Why didn't I think of
It's
that? Mine.
Now you're gonna forget what kind.
Well, now you like know like all the dogs that we have is basically.
Start another
tomorrow.
service.
Yeah,
and-
German.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Pit bull.
Everybody, if anybody needs a lab, Barbie's got one.
Yeah.
$20 a
Oh,
shot.
Yeah, she's got a great white lab.
I got
Oh,
a
you have
Frenchie,
a
so
you have a
anybody
white
needs
bull as
it.
well?
No, I have a
It's
white
little more
lab.
expensive.
I have a white bull.
You don't want my Yorkie.
50.
I love it. So for everybody on Zoom, you guys went over, some bar changes, everything like that. Got Lisa and Sean answered questions. So we'll do another one next week, and we'll go over everything with Lisa again on this. And then the week after, we'll have the chime rep in. So keep an eye out for that.
And the party.
Yes. Oh, that's right. Is that the 27th? Yeah, 27th, right? Wednesday? Yeah. So it's Wednesday, the 27th. We did get that squared away, right, Shano, at Grande's? Wednesday, the 27th.
Yep, Wednesday, the 27th, 5 to
Okay.
7.
5 to 7 at Grande's off of Don Ross.
I'm sure.
Yep, I think you got all, yeah, he said it was all squared away. So next Wednesday at Grande's 5 to 7, hope to see everybody there. Gonna hang out, have some drinks, have some food. Talk about work, don't talk about work, we don't care, just enjoy yourselves. So, yeah, hope to see everybody next Wednesday. So any questions, just give myself or Sean or Lisa a call. But we're always here to help you guys out. So, and if anybody watches the Zoom that's not on it right now, just give us any questions, calls. You guys just let me know. We're here for you. All right. So if any of you guys got anything? Good. John, Sandy, you guys squared away? Okay. All right. Well, we'll call you guys later. We'll go over everything. Let you kind of know what we're going to go over for next Tuesday. And in the meanwhile, just give myself, Dee Dee, Lisa, Sean, anybody a call that you need. We're always here for you guys. And let's go sell some real estate. Chat with you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. So this is on.